Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. You are preparing for your board examination, right? In the month of February and March, you are going to face the board examination of the academic year 26 and 27. So you should frame proper strategies to prepare well for your board examination. That's why to frame the strategies, I'm going to help you and to clear the board examination and to score very high in the part of history and civics. So I already uploaded that two lessons. First lesson, first war of independence, and also growth of nationalism. So in my channel itself, kindly visit my channel, watch the videos, and also I requesting you all to subscribe, share, comment for next important topics. So we can go for the slides. I'm going to give the useful strategies for your board examination. So let us discuss one by one important strategies here now. So first one, make short notes. Clear? So making short note is very important. So why I'm telling about to make the short note means, see, ICSE syllabus is one of the vast syllabus. Most commonly you people know about that and you are struggling to cover that vast syllabus in short duration. So nearly from that June to November you are getting time to cover the syllabus. And December and January is that 2 months is full for revision itself. So in our school and all, nearly we are planning to complete the syllabus within October itself. So after that, nearly 3 months we are giving revision for the children. So that's one of the important strategy, because revision is very important part to attend the board examination or prepare the board examination, right? That's why revision is very important. See, in the short duration, nearly 2 month or 2.5 month duration, you are going to revise that all 10 subjects, including history, civics, geography, some other different subjects and all, by using that textbook. Means this is highly impossible to prepare well for your board examination. That's why I'm suggesting you to prepare short notes, key point notes, and also chapter wise short notes. See, especially in history syllabus, this is one of the vast cover syllabus. So purely theory syllabus and all. Now, while you are reading that history, you are getting bored. I know that clearly. So that's common thing. So reading theory, no other different pictures and all, no other formulas to practice that. So no practical things in the part of history. So you should remember the years, dates of the historical events, even the name of the rulers, and also name of the different battles, so which led important role in history or historical moments. So lot of things in the part of theory you are going to remember that, right? So that's why you are feeling bored. I know that. That's why I'm telling you, you should prepare the key point notes or short note. Means, so that lengthy lesson, one lesson, it may consisting more than 10 pages, they mentioned in your textbook. So that all 10 page you should reduce it for different part of that key points, short points and all. So then in the time of revision, it will become very beneficial for to learn and glance the chapters very easily. That's why I'm telling you, you should prepare the short notes first, and also mind maps. So you can prepare mind maps for that dates, years, and for example, if you are going to take one of the battle, correct? So very good example, first war of independence. So in the part of that first war of independence, so you should prepare the flow chart or the mind map. So what about the causes of that? So causes, you are going to prepare that mind map or the flow chart. Means different causes, political causes, socio-religious, again word, keyword based point. So political causes, outright wars and all, subsidiary alliances. So only short words you should mention to remember and glance the topics here. That's why the short note is playing very important role to quick revision in the time of examination. When you are near to the board examination, so it will become helpful for you. So next one, revision strategy. So I am going to tell about the revision strategy here. So how to revise that, old syllabus within short duration. So that tip I am going to give in this slide. So revise regularly. See, you are having board examination in the month of February and March. So from here you are getting more than nearly 8 to 9 month time. No, that's why if you are neglecting from the begin, means it will become burden or near to the board examination, when you are near to the board examination. That's why regular revision is very important. For example, For example, in classroom, teachers are teaching some of the topics, right? So after that, after reaching home, you should revise the topics, what you learned in classroom. So that we are calling it as regular revision actually. So that's also very important here. Next, weekly revision. See, weekly revision means nothing. In that entire week, whole week, what you learned. So what you learned from the classroom, or what you learned by yourself or by the part of self-study and all. So you should revise that all the topics what you focused in that entire week. So that we are calling it as weekly revision. So weekly revision schedule, you should prepare the schedule for that, how to revise that. See, not only history is important for your board examination, you should focus on that all the subjects equally, right? That's why you should prepare the schedule. Whole week strategy, whole week revision means not only the single subject revision itself. That's why end of that week or weekends and all, you should prepare one of the schedules. So this, for example, 1 or 2 hours for one subject, next 2 hours for another subject and all. Next you are going to take the break for some times. After you are going to revise some other different subjects. So these kind of the schedule you should prepare. So that's also very important. So next one, focus more on weak topics. See, weak topics means in which are the topics your learning is very weak, so you are not understanding the topics very easily, no? So you should focus more on that kind of topics. So that difficult topics it may ask in board examination, right? That's why from the beginning itself you should focus on that weak topics or difficult topics and all. So regularly you are revising, you are learning that topics means it will become very easy to learn and attend the board exam. That's why this revision strategy also very important. So next one, how to score high marks, right? So this is purely related inside of the exam hall. So that's very important. So how to write the answers, especially in history, your answer must be point wise. So don't write the answer paragraph based or paragraph format, clear? So that paragraph format, that will become very difficulty to find your keywords when they are going to evaluate your answer script, no? That's why they are not patiently checking that all the points what you written inside of the paragraph. That's why directly you return that highlighted words means, so you can score very high easily. So next one, underline the important points. So that's also very important. See how you are learning, how you are preparing for the board examination, like the same how you are going to represent it in your answer script. That's also playing very important role to score high, clear? That's why, so underline that all the important points, and also proper presentation is very important. One point, one key point or one main point you return means at least write 1 or 2 sentences of explanation for that points. So these all are very important. So important tips you should follow inside of the examination hall. So totally neat answers, even the neat handwriting also very important for the answer script. So next one, you should understand the ICSE syllabus, right? So that's one of the most basic concept actually. So when you are going to face the board examination, you should focus on the syllabus. See, ICSE totally, it's not fixed for the single textbook for entire place, right? That's why in different schools, in different areas, they are referring different publication, different author textbook and all. That's why you should focus on syllabus, ICSE syllabus. So that board is providing syllabus copy to you, right? So you should refer that syllabus to prepare for ICSE board examination. So based on that, say inside of that textbook, some unnecessary points also they mentioned. So that all unnecessary points, that all extra points, that's not important for your board examination, right? That's why you can neglect that, you can leave that points. You should not prepare for that all the unnecessary points. That's why if you are having proper syllabus copy means based on that syllabus you can prepare well for your board examination. And another one of that, you should focus on important chapters. See, blueprint what we are calling, right? So blueprint means each lesson carries how many marks in your question paper, like that. So that is that print or that format we are calling it as the blueprint here. So you should focus on important chapters. Important chapters means chapters of high weightage. So high weightage means what's that? So high weightage means nothing. That chapter is covering to the part of MCQ main, short answer main, and also to the part of structure question. So these kind of the lesson we are calling it as high weightage lesson. So you should recognize that which are the lessons are very important chapters. So based on your board examination, so you can focus on that chapters much, and you can ignore some of the easy chapters and all, or some of that not important chapters for your board examination. And understanding the exam pattern, so that's also very important. So what about your question paper pattern, right? So without knowing the question paper pattern, it will become very difficult to analyze that question paper and the question strategy of the preparing question paper. See, to know about exam pattern, you should refer previous year question papers also. So that will become very beneficial or very helpful to know about the exam pattern. So in our history syllabus, see that 80 marks is dividing in the part of section A and section B, right? So that section A, they are going to consisting it for the short answer and MCQ, and section B is totally reserved for that structure type questions and all. So that's why you should know about that exam pattern. Clear exam pattern is in your hand means you can score very well, right? So next one, create a daily study timetable. So this is also very important actually. So why? Because you should focus on many different subjects, not only history and civics, right? So you are getting very short period. That's why proper daily study timetable is required. Means you should distribute your time, available time for each subjects correctly. So for example, maths and science, so that subjects are little tough subject comparing to the theory subject and language, right? So you can keep some extra time for that kind of the subjects. So other than that, you should distribute the time for theory and the languages and all. That's why proper planning of study timetable also very important. First, you should prepare the study timetable. Not only preparing the timetable, you should follow the same also. That's also very important. Simply you prepare that and kept it for somewhere means that will not it will not become useful. No, that's why what you prepared, so that timetable you should follow regularly. That's also very important. So and another one of that, not only the reading and all, you should prepare the timetable for revision and practice sessions. So practice and revision, that's also playing very important role, make you perfect for your board examination. That's why you should revise that. For example, in one day you covered one or two topics of different subjects means, so you at least 1 hour or 1.5 hours you should keep it for revise that all the topics, right? That's also very important. So next one, read textbook. See, read textbook, this is only for first reading. We are calling that first reading, second reading and also what it represent. So first reading means we are going to read that what they mentioned in the part of that textbook, inside of the textbook, whole lesson. We are reading that whole lesson in first reading. So second reading, it's not important to read that all, each sentence, each words, each paragraph and all. So what about that second reading? What about the importance of second reading? So we can skip some of the words, some of the sentence in that paragraph, right? So how it will become possible to skip the words, skip the sentence and all? See, while you're reading the textbook, you should highlight the important points. Clear? For example, now you are reading one page, one paragraph and all. So very important, you should focus on that paragraph. Concentration is very important, right? So concentration, based on that, you should start to highlight the important points or keywords. So once you highlighted that important points and keywords, in second reading, just you can focus on that highlighted keywords and the important points. So no need to read that entire whole pages or whole textbook again and again, right? And also focus on the definition, keywords. So these also make you perfect. So next one, very important, it is practice previous year papers. See, PYQs, practice of PYQs. So PYQs also playing very important role. Why? Because see, nearly 10 years question paper. we are solving that, we are practicing that, means it will give clear idea of high weightage topics, high weightage lessons and all. And also we can recognize that most repeated topics, most repeated questions and all. So you can get the idea to study, how to study, because no need to study that each and every topics mentioned in your textbook. That's why, so while referring that to PYQs, old or previous year question papers, no, you should make that list which are most repeated questions, most repeated topics and all. So then you are getting clear picture. So that repeated concept, you also should focus on that extra. So that kind of the strategy, you should follow that. So next, that PYQs, it will help to understand the question patterns. So how they may ask, sometimes, not sometimes, in this times and all present time, completely they are going to ask that applied based questions, right? So indirectly, if you are going to analyze the question clearly, means you can get the answer. Actually, you can write the answer very easily. But in examination hall, you are going to get the panic alva. That's why, so it will you will feel very difficult in exam hall or examination time of examination. But if they asked applied based and all, if they asked indirectly, means also very calm, you should sit very calmly, and also you should analyze the questions properly, so you can solve it very easily. And another one of the thing, again and again you are solving that old year question papers, previous year question papers, means it help to improve your writing speed and also accuracy, perfectness, right? So that's also very important. Writing speed is very important, because they are going to provide only 2 hours to attend that 80 marks questions, 80 marks question papers. So within that 2 hours you should complete that all, you should attend that all the questions, compulsory questions and all. So that's very important. Time management is very important in this. That's why practicing writing again and again, practicing the previous papers, so this all will beneficial or helpful to your board examination. So some of the very important tips what I am giving in the classroom for the children, that I shared with you also. So I request everyone to subscribe my channel, share to your friends, like, comment for the important topics. So in next video I will explain about that all the important topics, and also I will be with you near till the end of your board examination, don't worry. So only one thing, you should watch that complete videos and get benefit from these all the classes. See, our offline community is very less. We are having very less amount of the children, nearly 100 or 150 like that. But online community, I can build that online community much, no. That's why I request everyone to subscribe my channel and also share it and like. So I always supporting you, and thank you for watching. Thank you everyone.